Hey, I'm Griff.
And I'm Caroline.
And you know what? We're going to be upfront. Bethesda has said very little on Elder Scrolls 6. There's no gameplay, there's no release date, there's not even a full title. But you know what? That doesn't mean there's not some genuinely interesting info floating around out there.
Yeah, so we've scoured the internet for secrets and theories, and although it's all unconfirmed right now, this video will hopefully give you a firmer grasp of what to expect when the next game in Bethesda's role-playing series finally arrives.
I love it. Let's take a look.
Do it. So first up on our list of Elder Scrolls 6 details you might not know about is that there's a strong chance the game will be photorealistic, or at least aim for photorealism. In an official behind-the-scenes doc, we actually get a look at the tech in action. What you're seeing here is the developers scanning in environmental features like rocks and shrubbery from real-world sources. This scanning tech is called photogrammetry, and if that is indeed what Bethesda is using, it would mean Elder Scrolls 6 will look as good, if not better, than Star Wars Battlefront 2, which also uses the same tech.
Yeah, now if you're wondering where this footage is from, Bethesda released it on its channel to generate hype for the inclusion of Skyrim Grandma as an NPC in the game. Skyrim Grandma, of course, being a popular member of the Skyrim community, Caroline's favourite member.
She is, my bae.
And again, this does look like photogrammetry. Seeing her being scanned into the game gives us even more evidence the game's gonna feature photorealistic characters as opposed to, the more stylized models in previous Elder Scrolls games.
This also suggests the animation is getting an overhaul too, considering photorealistic characters would look a little bit odd if they move like this. In any case, this is exciting stuff, especially if you're hoping to see an improvement to the general aesthetic of the game.
There are a few credible locations making the rounds about where the Elder Scrolls 6 is set, aren't there?
Yeah.
At the top of that pile is the theory it takes place in the wilds of High Rock, which is located in the northwest of Tamriel. Tamriel, of course, if you didn't know, it's the continent which houses all of the Elder Scrolls locations. The first clue for that is the bay. High Rock sits on Iliac Bay, and if you look at the teaser trailer, you'll also see a bay. Now, come on, that's not much to go on really, but when you think about it, the teaser could have showed off anything. It could have showed off, a stretch of forest, a giant swamp, so the fact that there's some land flanked by water in the teaser trailer is actually a massive clue. But hey, Hammerfell is also on the same bay if you look on the map, so it could also be Hammerfell, but we'll get to the Hammerfell theory in a bit.
At the very least, I think we can rule out locations that we've already seen in the previous single-player Elder Scrolls games, can't we?
We can.
That's Skyrim, Morrowind, and Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil, yep, exactly. Plus, it doesn't look marshy enough to be other regions in Tamriel, such as Black Marsh, rainforesty enough to be Valenwood, or alien enough to be elsewhere, so High Rock does look most likely.
Yeah, it does.
Another compelling reason we're leaning towards High Rock is because it's the home of the Bretons, who are a human-like race, and therefore a much more relatable race to base the game around than, say, giant lizards or catmen.
Yeah, fuck those catmen. Let's run with Elder Scrolls being set in High Rock.
Oh, it's time for theories!
Bretons are the predominant race in High Rock, and in the canon, they're known for being pretty ambitious. They all aspire to be noblemen, and they do love a good castle. The thing is, they're so quick to claim a hill and build a castle that a lot of the time it falls into disrepair. Hence, you can see what looked like a ruined castle here. What if you could claim one of these hills for yourself and go one further than Skyrim's homes or Fallout 4 settlements and build the castle of your dreams in Elder Scrolls 6?
Whoa, we're really getting deep into the Elder Scrolls lore here.
Here we are.
But another feature of Bretons is their devotion to quests. In the Pocket Guide to the Empire, which is a series of in-game pamphlets, and Caroline loves to read it every evening.
I love a pamphlet.
It describes how Bretons have a quest obsession, where everyone takes on quests to climb the social ladder and impress the higher-ups. In the game, this would mean that, for once, the usual pile-on of quests you get in RPGs actually makes sense. You're not just taking on quests for the sake of it, but you're doing it because it's central to Breton society. So yeah, if the Elder Scrolls 6 is set in High Rock and focuses on the Breton race, we might be able to expect castle building, aspirations towards being a noble, and an actual meaningful quest system that makes sense from a story perspective. It's pretty cool.
Sounds like my life. Okay, just before we settle on High Rock for the location of Elder Scrolls 6, there is a good chance that it is instead set in one other location.
What is it?
And that is Hammerfell.
Wow.
The main reason, of course, is that, like High Rock, it is also bordering Iliac Bay. Hammerfell is characterized by mountain ranges, grasslands, and deserts, which looks exactly like what the teaser shows us.
Oh, very curious. Hammerfell has plenty of story potential too, since it's at the heart of the conflict between the human empire and the elf-led Aldmeri Dominion. This is referred to as the Great War in Elder Scrolls lore and was set up in Skyrim, so Hammerfell would be a continuation of that.
And hey, it doesn't necessarily rule out High Rock. Maybe the new game features both High Rock and Hammerfell.
Oh, maybe.
Wherever it's set, we definitely know it's in Tamriel and not a brand new location. And that's because of something director Todd Howard has said. Speaking to Eurogamer, he says it's possible to guess which region the game is set in from the teaser trailer, which suggests the location is indeed a pre-existing one. If we're able to guess it, that means we already know it.
On the 10th of September 2018, Bethesda trademarked the term Redfall. That doesn't automatically mean that'll be the name of the Elder Scrolls 6, but like, what else could it be really?
Could be Todd Howard's cat's name.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
There isn't anything in existing Elder Scrolls lore called Redfall, but it could have something to do with the Redguard race, and the Redguards call Hammerfell home. So the title does have something to do with the Redguards if, chances are, the game's set in their Hammerfell homeland.
But here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because there's also a series of post-apocalyptic books called Redfall. So unless Bethesda can work out a deal, the Elder Scrolls might not be called Redfall at all.
Everything's so up in the air, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on to how the engine is shaping up.
Right, we'll cap things off with something that we definitely do know. The Elder Scrolls 6 will be running on a brand new engine. Not a modified version of a pre-existing engine with pre-existing woes, which will lead to things like this, but a totally new engine. Todd Howard explained how massive a deal this is in an interview with Jeff Keighley. He said, "I could sit here and explain the game to you, and you would say, that sounds like you don't even have the technology. How long is that going to take?" And so it's something that's going to take a lot of time, what we have in mind for that game.
That just sounds ridiculously ambitious.
It does.
In a good way, of course. Bethesda have a game coming out before Elder Scrolls 6 called Starfield. You've probably seen the trailer. It's a next-gen sci-fi game, and that'll be the first game on Bethesda's new engine. The Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the second, so if Starfield launches in 2020 at a guess, I'd say don't expect Elder Scrolls 6 to be ready anytime before 2021.
Just want to play it now.
Such a wait.
But if it's such a long way off, why announce it? Well, there is a good reason for that, and that is to draw up interest in hiring developers for it. The Bethesda studio Montreal is currently looking to hire an engine programmer, and it makes it a whole lot easier to hire for the position when the game's not a secret.
Do you reckon they'll hire me?
Yeah.
Do you know what's amazing?
What?
I cannot believe we found even a single thing to talk about in our Elder Scrolls 6 video, and it's not even lies.
Yep, and it's such a long way off, so there is plenty of time for Bethesda to drip feed us more info over the next few painful years until the game finally launches. So, in the meantime, why not like the video and subscribe to PC Games Zen, and we can help each other through the wait together.
Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.